le doublé? Incroyable! Je savais pas. Trop bien. D'accord, bah... trop cool. Putain, je suis désolée, mais là j'ai vraiment le truc dans la gorge. Ce jeu contient des scènes d'horreur et n'est pas destiné à tous les publics. Blablabla, des effets de clignotement. Vous n'êtes pas sensible à ça, j'espère, dans le chat. Je vais sortir la petite manette Switch, ça sera mieux. Voilà. Alors, quelles que soient les horreurs que vous découvrirez dans ces sombres recoins, faites preuve de courage et poursuivez jusqu'au bout de votre aventure. Aucune fin n'est prématurée, aucune décision n'est mauvaise. Il y a uniquement de nouvelles perspectives et de nouveaux départs. Ceci est une histoire d'amour. Ah! Le son va assez fort. Alors, nouvelle partie. Est-ce que je dois mettre... Bon, ça m'a l'air d'être mis en français, hein. On va vérifier, mais... C'est parti. Chapitre 1. Le héros et la princesse.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Ok, bah vous me dites hein, s'il faut baisser.
You're here to slay her.
Ah!
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ok. Explorer la fin du monde, vous pouvez être plus précis. Avez-vous envisagé qu'elle pourrait causer la fin du monde uniquement parce qu'elle est enfermée? L'exécution d'une princesse, c'est un peu immoral, vous ne trouvez pas? Personne d'autre ne peut s'en charger. Laissez tomber, je refuse de faire ça. Vous ne vous êtes pas dit que ce n'était pas que je n'étais pas contre la fin du monde. Si je le fais, vais-je recevoir une quelconque récompense? Ah d'accord, merci, Génial, j'ai toujours rêvé d'exécuter une souveraine. Tournez les talons, avancez, blablabla. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire? Moi, j'aimerais savoir si c'est pas parce qu'elle est enfermée que c'est un problème.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Ah.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
Elle cache les dialogues, la cam? Ouais. Attendez.
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
C'est mieux comme ça vous convient. C'est moi qui fais bouger ça en fait. Trop bizarre, hein. Blablabla, si la princesse quitte le chalet, c'est la fin du monde et le résultat est inéluctable.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Eh bien, on va lui dire... Avancer vers le chalet en silence. Je vais juste éteindre la lumière derrière moi.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Failli tomber. J'ai failli me planter.
A warning before you go any further.
Alors.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
C'est vrai ça.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Mais attendez, je suis le héros, mais je pense pas comme lui. Enfin, vous voyez ce que je veux dire? Genre, c'est moi le héros là, non? Ouais, on verra après.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
On va la prendre, hein.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Est-ce que c'est une psychopathe qui aurait essayé de nous tuer si on n'avait pas la lame? Ça fait peur! Attention. Est-ce qu'elle est horrible?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below.
Il y pleut. L'ambiance est oppressante, l'air est lourd et humide et une odeur de pourriture émane du vieux bois. Si la princesse vit vraiment ici, l'Occire serait une sorte de libération pour elle.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Ooh.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Je viens prendre de vos nouvelles.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Bah carrément. Comment pouvez-vous imaginer une chose pareille? Je suis démasquée, je suis effectivement là pour vous tuer. Je n'ai pas encore pris ma décision, je suis venue pour discuter. Prendre votre courage à deux mains et avancer. Ah putain,
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat.
j'ai bougé sans faire exprès le joystick. Juste avant
She
d'appuyer.
makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Moi je lui fais pas confiance.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip
Wow,
on the
hein.
blade.
Incroyable, bravo. Sur YouTube aussi, ça monte. Allez.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
Qui vient la nourrir et tout?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Que de mystère. Et si elle ne plaisantait pas? Et si elle nous tuait? Vous êtes certaine qu'elle n'a pas d'arme. On pourrait discuter, poser la lame, pardon. Bon, on va pas tourner autour du pot, on est d'accord. Hein.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust
il est
and
nul.
deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Bah allez.
You
T'as un
and the
couteau,
princess
oh.
stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here, either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
J'espère pas parce que sinon c'est un peu court quoi.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Yes. Chapitre 2, l'adversaire.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
Ok.
If you don't...
J'ai une horrible impression de déjà vu. Attendez, on a déjà vécu ça. Oui, mais non. Mais je suis mort, qu'est-ce que je fais ici? Elle va encore me tuer. J'ai déjà Occire la Princesse. D'accord, elle aussi, elle m'a tué. Mais je l'ai eu, c'est sûr. Qu'est-ce que je fais encore ici?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette histoire?
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It doesn't matter if he can hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning. That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill.
Ah ouais, ok.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat.
Yes.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a
Voix de
fight.
l'obstiné.
Are you sure about that?
Attendez, j'ai combien de voix dans ma tête?
Warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Attendez, j'ai une question, moi. Ça, c'est quoi? Ok, c'est à chaque fois un résumé. Et alors... C'est quoi que je dois désactiver pour que ça arrête de bouger là? Faux fixe, ça doit être ça. Qu'est-ce que ça a changé là, ce que je viens de faire? Merde. J'ai une question pour ceux qui ont fait le jeu là. Vous avez... J'imagine qu'il y a plusieurs fins. Vous avez refait le jeu plusieurs fois là? Vous n'avez pas mentionné le miroir accroché au mur, c'est vrai ça?
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. Oh, stop bickering and just get on with it. Who even cares if there's a mirror? You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. This really isn't funny.
Ok. Quoi?
Reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone, so all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting.
Je suis un espèce de...
You take the blade from the altar. It would
De
be
lézard,
difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend.
Blah, blah,
Her
blah.
fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening. Good. Sounds like my kind of princess. As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us.
C'est très bizarre.
And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
J'espère que vous avez tout entendu, monsieur le narrateur. C'est très différent de notre dernière rencontre, mais, mais en tout cas, elle a bel et bien eu lieu. Vous vous souvenez de moi? Je suis ici pour vous libérer. Je ne dis pas que je refuse de combattre, mais avant toute chose, nous avons tous les deux des points à tirer au clair. Occire la Princesse. J'ignore ce qui vous est arrivé depuis notre dernière rencontre, mais je refuse de combattre une géante démoniaque.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There.
Ah oui, c'est très...
Unpacking done.
c'est logique.
Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Alright, fine. I believe you. What? What you said earlier in the woods, I believe you. You've already met the princess, and the princess has already met you. That's all the more reason to take this seriously. You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember.
Pourquoi il me fait ça? Bah, enfin.
Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line.
Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Je vais prendre la situation encore moins au sérieux juste pour vous embêter. Je ne vois pas ce que vous voulez dire, je n'ai jamais perdu la vie. Je suis en pleine santé, blablabla. Bla bla bla. Je vais faire les choses bien. Je suis démasquée. Gardez le silence.
I'm going to take that silence as a sign that from this moment on, you're going to treat the task before you with the utmost importance
Mini,
and
ça va?
seriousness. I'm so glad that we're finally all on the same page.
Vous avez de la neige au Cario, Barve et tout et tout. Parce que là, il neige partout en Belgique. Ça va et toi? Vous avez l'air différentes. Donc ça, allez, c'est les mêmes réponses. Ben, elle va me démonter. Alors j'imagine que si on la libère, genre c'est la fin. Juste le froid. Ouais. Parce que j'ai vu qu'il neigeait un peu partout. Ben, il a eu de la neige là. Il nous a mis sur Discord. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? J'ai envie d'essayer de la libérer, mais je pense que ça va être la fin si on fait ça. On peut pas partir non plus. Quoique. Je l'attaque une fois, on verra.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count.
Oh, we'll make it count, all right.
As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs. You can hear her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact.
She almost looks disappointed in us.
Why is she disappointed in us?
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win. She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action.
Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
Créer une ouverture et tenter de vous montrer plus malin qu'elle. L'attaquer de front, fuir.
You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening.
Oh la groom.
You do your best to outplay her, splashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver.
Pardon, j'ai passé trop vite. À chaque coup superficielle que vous portez, elle réplique en vous plaquant contre le mur. Chaque impact menace d'être le dernier.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her.
She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Ben, il est nul mon perso.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place. And I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your scalp.
How disappointing.
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Bon. On va peut-être essayer de pas mourir, hein.
You're on a path in the wood. If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there. Fear is good. Fear keeps us
Voix du
alive.
traqué.
We died because you didn't have enough of it. So what? You'd have us cower in a corner? No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive. Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip away, that's it. Game over for everyone.
Est-ce qu'on saura à un moment pourquoi elle est si problématique ou, ou genre on va juste se contenter de devoir la tuer?
Are you challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning? Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met. It doesn't matter. We could go in circles forever. I don't like staying still for too long. It's good to know that at least one of you is still capable of reason. We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other, and I don't trust you.
Ah ouais? Trop bien. Alors, nous ne nous sommes pas attardés sur les changements qu'a subi cet endroit. Est-ce qu'on peut encore parler de bois? Je préfère agir autrement, peu importe ce qui doit arriver. Autant voir où ça mène, avancer vers le chalet. J'en ai plein d'autres aussi. Autrement?
Chooser. The best we can do is advise, but we can help if you let us. These are just powerless thoughts and opinions. You don't need to let them drag you and the world to ruin.
Bon bah... J'ai pas trop le choix du coup.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. No last advice for us? No words of warning? From what I gather, you've heard it all before. There's no use screaming into the wind. I don't know, screaming sounds pretty good right about now. I could use a little catharsis. Catharsis is when we're finished. For now, we need to hold it out in front of us, something to chase.
Il parle très bas lui.
The interior of the cabin is suffocatingly tight, more of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. See? We have even less space than before. We need space or she'll kill us. Take it.
Vous mettez toujours le miroir. Impossible d'aller plus loin. Cul-de-sac, blablabla.
We can try to survive without our steel claw, but you've marked us as easy prey.
Ah merde!
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it, as if you don't see it. You do see it, right? All we see is a damned mirror. This really is just like last time. It smells of nothing, yet it's still there. You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement. It swings open, scraping
Merde,
against
est-ce
the
que je peux
floor as it
reprendre le
reveals
couteau?
the dim. Why am I not surprised? It was in our way, and now it's not. That's all that matters.
No!
Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will require careful effort. The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
Goad her. Rile her up. If she's angry, she'll make mistakes.
Pas bête. Si vous voulez vous battre, venez donc m'affronter. Je sais que vous pouvez quitter cet endroit sans aucune aide. Bla 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 bla.
That's not how this works. I'm all chained up, remember? How about you come down here
Comme
and
si
fight
c'était un
me?
problème, hein.
Those chains were nothing to her last
C'est
time.
ça.
And there'll be nothing to her this time. We need to show ourselves first to make her boil over. Fine by me.
Putain, j'ai pas d'armes. Je suis pas sûre qu'il sache se battre.
You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, there is solid ground beneath you. Remember every crack and crevice. We'll need to be faster than her. You turn to face what lies at the end of the narrow tunnel. The princess, imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness. Her face droops.
There you are. But this time you don't even have that little knife.
Do you think this is a joke?
Ah, fais chier, putain.
Do you need me to break those fragile bones again to remind you how serious this is?
She's wobbling, hot with rage. We can't get close if we want to live. But we'll be able to draw her out of here. I know I said this earlier, but I really have to stress how thin of a razor's edge you're on right now. We know. The only way out is through the eye of the needle. And we're going to win. We'll need the steel claw. Grab it as we leave. Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap.
Waouh. Attendez, je vais chercher un truc pour ma gorge, parce que là, je n'en puis plus. Donc bon, on en était au moment où elle veut me casser la gueule. On se tire.
Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Ah, trop bien, c'est vraiment ce que je voulais.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same?
Steel claw, now.
Ah, j'hésite. On prend la lame ou on court? Oui. C'est ça. Allez, on essaye la lame.
Without missing a step, you grab the blade from the altar.
So you do want to fight me? Good.
Mais en vrai, on pourrait sortir quand même, hein.
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass.
Ok, on est dehors.
You glance
elle
back
est
at the
géante,
cabin
hein.
as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get it right.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me. Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Do it. Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
C'est vraiment ce que vous voulez, vous êtes libre à présent. Et j'ai le dessus ici. On n'est pas obligé de se battre. Vous êtes tombé dans mon piège. Occire la Princesse. Allez, agis.
You leap from the grass and bound towards the princess, keeping low.
Charging me head on? Brave and foolish.
Her body braces for impact, anticipating the clash. That's where you're both wrong. Left, now. As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you manage to gift her another cut in return. We're actually gonna pull this off, aren't we? You just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
Elle est malade.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wounding the other again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak and unsteady. More! Keep going! We can't stop now! You spy an opening, but this time she's waiting for you. She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms.
Ouais.
You're slammed to the ground.
Putain.
Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
Ah.
You've outplayed me, haven't you? Something feels wrong. Something.
And? Then what happens?
D'accord. Mais vous n'avez pas l'occasion de répondre. Quelque chose s'est emparé d'elle et une autre a pris sa place.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
J'ignore où elle est partie et je ne sais même pas par où commencer pour la retrouver. Le narrateur a disparu. Je crois que je suis censée regarder dans ce miroir. S'approcher du miroir.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
You're right. She's gone. It's just us and that.
It's like it's mocking us.
Let's just stay still.
Oui, mais on va pas rester là.
He is. Does that mean the world ended? It hasn't ended. We're still here.
The world didn't end. We're still here. Come on. We just need to keep going.
I'm begging you,
Pas le choix.
don't do this. It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
Vous approchez du miroir. Contemplez votre reflet. Vous tendez la main dans un silence absolu. Les voix sont parties, mais le miroir est toujours là. Il est temps que vous découvriez ce qui s'y cache. Ah waouh, je suis plutôt... Ouais. Vous vous retrouvez retrouvez seul dans un espace complètement vide. Il n'y a pas de bruit ici. Vous êtes au chalet.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Qu'êtes-vous? Un réceptacle fragile. Est-ce la fin du monde? Laissez-la partir. Connaissez-vous le narrateur? Est-ce vous qui m'avez demandé d'Occire la Princesse? Avez-vous connaissance des mondes qui existent en dehors de cet endroit? Êtes-vous la princesse? Est-ce qu'on se connaît? Que fait-on maintenant? Détruire votre propre corps. Quoi? Êtes-vous la princesse?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Avez-vous toujours été la princesse ou la forcez-vous à faire partie de vous?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Je sais pas, j'essaie de comprendre ma vie en fait. C'est vous qui m'avez demandé d'Occire la Princesse.
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one remembers a spark lost in time, and she would stop at nothing to reclaim it. She will make for a burning heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally remembered what she thought she'd lost.
Que fait-on?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Qu'est-ce que je vais oublier exactement? Combien d'autres fragments de vous est-ce que je dois vous rapporter? On m'a demandé d'Occire la Princesse pour l'empêcher de provoquer l'apocalypse. Si je vous aide, est-ce réellement ce que vous comptez faire? De toute façon, je pense qu'on n'a pas trop le choix.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
Ah.
You won't.
Oula. C'est moi ou elle a dit mais vous ne vous en souviendrez pas. Le monde autour de vous s'obscurcit et la vie vous abandonne.